What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today, in the most recent Bungie weekly update, they unveiled some very important information by providing a list of all of the weapons rotating out of the loot pool at the start of Season 19. So all of these weapons are available to get right now, but when next season starts, they're going to be literally impossible to acquire, and who knows when, if ever, they will return. So it's quite literally your last chance to get your hands on these weapons, and some of them are quite good. We're going to be going over the god rolls you want to be looking for in this video. So let's get started here with the two Iron Banner weapons. The first one is the Forge's Pledge Pulse Rifle. This is an adaptive frame solar weapon, and taking a look at the roll I have like the Omega Stability Laser roll. So I have firstly Surplus, which is going to increase the handling, reload speed, and stability for each fully charged ability. And then also I have the unique Iron Banner perk, Iron Grip, to massively improve stability at the cost of reload speed. And yeah, my stability for this archetype is kind of nuts. Now, this isn't the only good roll you can get with it. I mean, it can get Heating Up plus Multi-Kill Clip, or Heating Up, or Surplus, or Tunnel Vision plus Rampage, like the traditional stat boosting perk plus damage boosting perk, especially good on adaptive frame pulse rifles because they become 2 burst kills. So this is just a pretty good pulse rifle overall, but the thing kind of holding it back is that there's a lot of good adaptive frame pulse rifles in the game, and their archetype isn't like taking over the meta or anything right now. Still, definitely in that next Iron Banner, worth looking out for some decent rolls of this thing. Moving on from there, however, the other Iron Banner weapon has had a much bigger impact in the meta, and that is the RIISWALKER Legendary Lightweight Frame Shotgun. So this thing, well, quite frankly, it's all about the fact that it can get the Iron Reach, unique to Iron Banner trait, which says massively improves the range, so plus like 20 range at the cost of weapon stability. Well, you don't really need stability for your shotgun, so basically this is just going to give you the biggest outright boost to your range stat of any perk in the game. And what it lets you do is just have a lightweight frame that can pretty much map people. In fact, Iron Reach provides so much range that if you combine too many range increasing perks. Like if you have Iron Reach and Accurized and a Range Masterwork, that's actually too much range. Like you don't actually need the Range Masterwork, for example, because you've already reached the range cap. So it actually lets you be a little more generous to your other stats. So you can have Iron Reach, let's say Accurized, and then a Handling Masterwork, and that is going to work just fine. You've already reached the range cap because Iron Reach is so insane, you can start giving your other stats some nice boosts. So it lets you have fantastic range, but then also more handling than usual because with other shotguns you have to invest like solely into range. So definitely worth trying to get one of these. Now moving on from there to the Trials of Osiris weapons, we have again 2 weapons rotating out. The first one is the AISHA'S Embrace Legendary Void Scout Rifle belonging to the Rapid Fire Frame archetype. So this thing can get some pretty interesting rolls. Now, I have the Wombo Combo roll of firstly Triple Tap, which is going to give a round back after landing 3 precision shots, and then 4th times the charm, which gives 2 rounds back for landing 4 precision shots. These things work together and trigger off the ammo they're adding back. So I have like a 19 round magazine with this thing. I've got it to shoot over 100 times. Like, you can really go pretty wild when chaining precision shots against a, boss, for example. So, while that's very cool, how practical is it? Maybe not so much. It can get some very good other perk combinations though, perpetual motion, even like shoot to loot for PvE. It can get multi-kill clip or adagio for damage boosts. It is an overall pretty decent little weapon. It's just that rapid fire frame scout rifles are not super present within either the PvE or PvP meta. Now, they might get buffed at a later date, but I'm just giving you the facts as they are right now. Still worth maybe trying to hold on to a decent roll of this thing. However, of course, the Trials weapons are definitely a bit harder to acquire than some of the other weapons we're going over here. Now, the other Trials of Osiris weapon rotating out is going to be the Reed's Regret Legendary Stasis Precision Frame Linear Fusion Rifle. Guys, this was, for a time, arguably the best PvE linear fusion rifle in the entire game, which is kind of funny because it's acquired through Trials, but there you have it. This can get the unbelievably powerful combination of triple tap to give ammo back, super important for like an extended damage phase. For example, when you're damaging Oryx, you need that ammo coming back, like generated out of thin air, or else you're just gonna run out. And then you can also get firing line to increase precision damage when allies are nearby. And then you combine this with the origin trait Vice Stinger, which has the chance to just randomly refill the magazine. So again, you're fighting Oryx, sometimes you will never need to reload, and that is nutty for your DPS. This is a very, very good weapon. If you can acquire it, you probably still should. However, the big caveat is that the Taipan 4FR, a brand new linear fusion added just this season, as a world drop weapon that has a quest that will let you guaranteed craft it, can get the exact same roll. And it's craftable, so you can get like enhanced perks as well. So triple tap firing line and Vice Stinger, just like the Reeds. So for most people, the Taipan has simply replaced the Reeds, and therefore you don't really need the Reeds that much. The only thing is that they're different elements. So obviously, if it's, you know, a stasis burn or you're producing stasis elemental wells, the Reeds is going to be significantly better. So technically you want both, but practically, because of the Taipan, it's not super desirable anymore. Moving on from there, guys, the last two weapons we have here are Nightfall Weapons. And the first one is going to be the Silicon NEUROMA Aggressive Frame Sniper. So this can get some pretty darn good PvE rolls. Specifically, it can get triple tap, which of course we know is good, and you can combine that with Focus Fury to increase the damage over time against like bigger enemies, bosses, champions, and so on. And then, speaking of champions, it can get the unique Nightfall origin trait Stunning Recovery. So like right now, you have sniper rifle anti-barrier rounds as a mod. If you're using the Silicon NEUROMA, you're popping those barrier shields and healing yourself, which is absolutely useful. But with all that being said, again, right now, you have sniper anti-barrier. It's going to be a long time, probably like years, until we see that pop up again. So if you're not super vibing with it right this moment, or finding you really need it right this moment, you might not need it at all, to be perfectly honest. Not to mention, with this archetype, you really need to use a backup mag mod to get the magazine to 5, so triple tap triggers twice, which means you can't even use the ADEPT mods if you get the ADEPT version, so it's kind of a meh weapon. But the other Nightfall weapon going away is the duty-bound adaptive frame auto rifle, and this can get some pretty darn good rolls. So I have firstly stats for all, so hit 3 enemies, get a big boost to your stats, combined with Frenzy for a consistent damage increase when you're in combat. But this can also get stats for all +1 for all as a wombo combo. It can get Vorpal Weapon, Rampage, heck, it can even get the triple tap +4th times wombo combo just like the AISHA'S Embrace. But guys, seriously, don't sleep on this weapon because of Stunning Recovery. Unlike a sniper rifle we just looked at, it is very likely that auto rifles will be featured anti-champion weapons, like it happens often 2 seasons in a row. They stun unstoppables and then they're anti-barrier, etc. So you have a really high chance that this thing is going to be an auto rifle that can deal with champions and then also give you a huge boost to your healing when you do get those stuns. I've used this in Grandmasters, and holy crap, that healing can make all the difference in the world, keeping you alive when otherwise you would die. So I think this is a pretty relevant weapon to go after. Guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.